What if the budgeting rule that millions of Americans swear by is actually keeping you broke, not helping you, not saving you, quietly, slowly keeping you broke? Now, before you click off, I know what you're thinking. The 50-30-20 rule is everywhere. Every financial expert recommends it. My bank literally sent me an email about it. And you're right, it is everywhere. But here's the question nobody is asking. Does it actually work in 2026 America? Because the rule was created in a completely different economy. Different rent prices, different inflation numbers, different cost of living. And what worked then might be silently destroying your finances right now. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at your budget the same way again. Welcome to Key Finance, where we give everyday Americans the real truth about money. If you're new here, subscribe right now, because we break down exactly what the finance world doesn't want you to figure out on your own.
Let's get into it. First, let's make sure we're all on the same page. The 50-30-20 rule was popularized by Senator Elizabeth Warren in her book, All You're Worth, published back in 2005. The idea is simple and clean. Take your after-tax income, your actual take-home pay, and split it 3 ways. 50% goes to needs: rent, groceries, utilities, car payment, health insurance, the things you absolutely cannot live without. 30% goes to wants: dining out, Netflix, vacations, new clothes, entertainment, the things that make life enjoyable. 20% goes to savings and debt payoff, emergency fund, retirement, paying down credit cards, the things that build your future. Clean, simple, easy to remember. On paper, it looks perfect. But here's where it gets very, very uncomfortable. Let's do some real math together. The median American household income in 2026 is approximately $59,000 a year. After federal taxes, state taxes, and Social Security, your actual take-home pay is roughly $46,000 a year. That's about $3,833 a month. Now, let's apply the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs equals $1,916 a month. Sounds reasonable, right? Now tell me, what is the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in America right now? In Austin, Texas, $1,450. In Denver, Colorado, $1,600. In Miami, Florida, $1,800. In any major U.S. city, easily $1,500 to $2,500. And that's just rent. Add groceries, $400 a month minimum. Add car payment, $500 average in 2026. Add insurance, utilities, phone. You are already at $2,500 to $3,000 on a needs budget of only $1,916. The math simply does not work. And this is exactly why millions of Americans follow this rule perfectly and still end up completely broke at the end of every month. The rule isn't wrong because people are bad with money. The rule is struggling because the economy changed, but the rule didn't. Here's my honest answer. The 50-30-20 rule absolutely still works, but only if you use it as a starting framework, not a rigid law. Think of it like a GPS. A GPS gives you a route, but if there's a roadblock, you don't abandon the trip. You reroute. Here's how smart Americans are adapting this rule in 2026. If your needs exceed 50%, and for most people they will, the first thing to do is attack your biggest need. That's usually rent. Consider a roommate. Consider relocating to a lower-cost city. Consider house hacking, renting out a room to cover part of your mortgage. Dropping rent by even $300 a month frees $3,600 a year. Second, temporarily shrink the 30%. Be ruthless with wants right now. Cancel subscriptions you forgot about. Cook at home 4 nights a week. Pause the weekend spending for 90 days. This isn't forever. This is a season of sacrifice for a lifetime of freedom. Third, protect the 20% like your life depends on it. Because financially, it does. Even if your needs are eating 60% and wants are down to 15%, never touch that 20%. That 20% is the only part of this formula building your actual future. Here's the bottom line. The 50-30-20 rule didn't fail you. The economy made it harder to follow. But the principle behind it, spending less than you earn, saving intentionally, living with purpose, that truth never expires.